Once upon a time, there were two friends, Alex and Ben. Both worked hard at the same job, both earned the same amount of money, and both decided it was time to start saving for the future. Alex, being a cautious person, took a very straightforward approach to saving his money. Every single month, he would take a crisp $100 bill and tuck it safely away in a large, sturdy piggy bank he kept hidden under his bed. He watched with satisfaction as his collection of bills grew larger and larger over time, feeling secure in the knowledge that his money was safe and sound, right where he could see it. Ben, on the other hand, had heard whispers about a special kind of magic, a magic that could make money grow all by itself. He also saved $100 every month, just like his friend Alex, but instead of putting it into a piggy bank, he placed it into a special account at a place that promised to use this magic. His friends were a little skeptical. They told him it sounded too good to be true. They warned him that putting his money somewhere else was risky. But Ben was curious and decided to take a chance on this mysterious financial magic. He trusted the process. Years went by, and both friends continued their disciplined saving habits. Alex proudly counted his money one day. He had saved for 10 years straight. This is the magic of interest. So what is this mysterious force that made Ben's money grow? It's called interest. Interest is like a reward you get for letting someone else use your money. When you put your cash into a savings account at a bank, you are essentially lending that money to the bank. The bank then uses that money for various things, like giving out loans to other people. As a thank you for letting them borrow your funds, the bank pays you a small fee. That fee is interest. It's a way of your money working for you, even when you're sleeping. Imagine you have a money tree. You plant a seed, which is your initial savings, also known as the principal. Interest is the fruit that grows on that tree. At first it might just be a single small piece of fruit, but you don't pick it. You let it fall to the ground where it plants another seed, and soon you have another small tree growing right next to the first one. Now you have two trees producing fruit. This is the core idea of how interest helps your wealth expand over time, turning one source of income into many. This concept works because your money is no longer just sitting idle. Money stuffed under a mattress or in a simple piggy bank is static. It doesn't change. But money placed in an interest-bearing account is active. It is out in the world, working, participating in the economy, and generating more money in the process. Now that we understand what interest is, it comes in two main flavors: simple interest and compound interest. Understanding the difference between these two is absolutely critical. It is the difference between your money growing slowly and your money growing exponentially. Let's start with the first one, simple interest. As its name suggests, it is very straightforward. Simple interest is calculated only on the initial amount of money you saved, which we call the principal. It never takes into account any of the interest you have already earned. Imagine you put $1,000 into an account that pays 5% simple interest per year. In the first year, you would earn $50, which is 5% of $1,000. In the second year, you would earn another $50. In the third year, you would again earn another $50. Do you see the pattern here? The amount of interest you earn each year is always the same. It is always calculated based on that original $1,000. It's a steady, predictable, and linear way for your money to grow. It's good, but it's not great. It's like a worker who gets the same paycheck every year with no raise. Now, let's talk about the superstar, compound interest. Albert Einstein is often quoted as having called it the eighth wonder of the world. Compound interest is calculated on the principal amount plus all of the accumulated interest from previous periods. Let's break down the math with a step-by-step example to make this crystal clear. We'll use the same numbers as before to highlight the stark difference in outcomes. So, let's say you invest $1,000 for 5 years at a 5% annual interest rate. First, we'll calculate the growth using simple interest. The formula is straightforward. Principal, interest rate, time. In our case, that would be $1,000 times 0.05 times 5 years. This equals $250. Your final amount would be your original $1,000 plus the $250 in interest for a total of $1,250. Now let's perform the same calculation using the power of compound interest, compounded annually. This requires a year-by-year breakdown to really see the effect. Year 1, $1,000 times 5% equals $50. New balance, $1,050. Year 2, $1,050 times 5% equals $52.50. New balance, $1,102.50. Year 3, $1,102.50 times 5% equals $55.13. Year 4, $1,157.63 times 5% equals $57.88. Year 5, $1,215.51 times 5% equals $60.78. New balance, $1,276.29. The total interest earned here is $276.29, which is $26.29 more than with simple interest. It might not seem like a huge difference now, but this gap widens dramatically over time. The key takeaway from this mathematical comparison is the accelerating nature of compound interest. The small difference we saw over 5 years might not seem life-changing, but the true power of compounding is not a short sprint, it's a long marathon. The longer your money has to compound, the more dramatic the results become. Let's extend our example to see what happens over a longer period. Let's take that same $1,000 earning 5% interest and see where it ends up after 30 years. With simple interest, the calculation remains easy. $1,000 times 0.05 times 30 equals $1,500 in interest. Your total would be $2,500. A decent return, but nothing spectacular. Now let's apply the magic of compounding to that same $1,000 over 30 years. The year-by-year calculation would be way too long. But the final number is what matters. After 30 years of compounding annually at 5%, your initial $1,000 would grow to approximately $4,322. That's a total of $3,322 in interest alone. This is more than double the interest earned through the simple interest method. The original money you put in, the principal, is now less than a quarter of the total value. The rest is pure profit generated by the compounding process itself. This is why compound interest is often called a miracle. The growth is not linear, it is exponential. It starts slowly, almost invisibly. For the first few years, the difference between simple and compound interest is negligible. Many people get discouraged during this phase, but as time goes on, the curve of the graph starts to bend upwards. Then it gets steeper and steeper. If compound interest is the magic spell, then time is the most powerful ingredient in that spell. The more time you give your money to work, the more powerful the compounding effect becomes. This is why starting to save and invest as early as possible is the single most important thing you can do for your financial future. Even small amounts of money can grow into fortunes if given enough time. Let's look at another story, this time about two sisters, Sarah and Jessica. Sarah starts investing $200 a month at age 25. She does this for just 10 years and then stops completely at age 35. Sarah invested a total of $24,000. She then lets that money sit and grow, never adding another penny. Her sister Jessica waits to start. She begins investing at age 35, the same age Sarah stopped. Jessica also invests $200 a month, but to catch up, she invests consistently for 30 years until she is 65. Jessica invested a total of $72,000. That is 3 times the amount of money that Sarah put in. Surely Jessica will end up with more money, right? Let's assume they both earned a 7% annual return. When they both reach age 65, we look at their accounts. Sarah, who started early and only invested for 10 years, would have approximately $290,000. Jessica, who started later but invested for 30 years, would have approximately $245,000. Despite investing 3 times as much money, Jessica ends up with less. How is this possible? The answer is time. Sarah's money had an extra 10 years to compound, and those initial years are the most powerful as they form the foundation for all future growth. Feeling inspired? I hope so. The good news is that starting is easier than ever before. You don't need to be a Wall Street wizard or have a huge fortune to begin. The first step is to open an account that allows your money to earn compound interest. This could be a high-yield savings account for your emergency fund. For long-term goals like retirement, you might consider opening a retirement account like a Roth IRA or a 401k if your employer offers one. These accounts offer tax advantages that can supercharge your growth even further. The next tip is to make it automatic. The most successful savers and investors don't rely on willpower alone. They set up automatic transfers from their checking account to their investment or savings account every single payday. Whether it's $25, $50, or $100, the amount is less important than the consistency. By automating your savings, you pay yourself first. The money is put to work before you even have a chance to miss it or spend it on something else. This discipline, automated over decades, is what builds financial empires from the ground up. Be patient and think long-term. Compounding is a get-rich-slowly scheme, not a get-rich-quick one. There will be ups and downs, especially if you invest in the stock market. The key is to not panic. So what are you waiting for? The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. Your journey to financial freedom starts with the decision to save your first dollar and put it to work. The magic is real and it's waiting for you.